Hello and welcome to the Situationship Expert YouTube channel. I am your host, India Lynn, also known as the Situationship Expert, first on TikTok and now on YouTube. If it's your first time here, welcome. If it's your second time here, third time, or millionth time, welcome back. I'm happy to get started on this topic. I kind of regret not making this my very first video, but nonetheless, we're going to talk about it. This video is on something that is very important to me, and it's something that you can take away as a single person, as someone who's in a long-term relationship, in marriage. If you're divorced, if you're anyone listening, you can take away from this. But the reason I say I want singles to understand this, and please don't get mad that I have a love for my singles, it's because I don't want you to start picking this stuff up after you're already in a relationship. I prefer you know this before you enter a long-term relationship. I want you to know it now rather than later. So all that said, what am I talking about today? I'm talking about contentment. Contentment. Okay, I don't think we talk about it enough. The importance of being content before you enter a relationship with someone else. Okay, it takes one to know one. I try and make it very clear that while I'm talking about these things, I was someone who struggled when it came to the area of contentment. Years ago, I remember praying to God saying, I want a beautiful, healthy, happy relationship, and I want to be a mom to children, plural, right? But I said, but if it doesn't happen, it's fine. Can I be honest with y'all? I was lying. I was lying to myself. I was lying to I don't want to say I was lying to God, because God knew my heart. Really, even if you try lying to God, you can't really lie to God. God knows your heart inside and out, and knows it better than you know yourself. But I believed that by saying it was true, but the truth is I wasn't there, and I didn't get there for years. But I ultimately had to make a decision that, a relationship is technically out of my control. There are things that are in my control. I can watch who I date and how I date. I can be more intentional about saying, okay, this is a red flag, or this is a green flag. This makes sense. This doesn't make sense. This person fills my heart up with joy. I want them in it. Or, it's not what I thought it would be. I'm going to walk away from it. Those things aren't in my control, but what is out of my control is what someone else does or decides to do regarding me. So they might end up asking me out. They might not. They might feel like I'm wifey material, I'm someone they want in their life, or they might not feel that way, right? So I had to come to terms with it, saying, okay, well, what happens if I live out my life? I take all of this advice that I've learned over time from relationship experts, from friends and family, from God himself, right? I'm taking all of these nuggets of wisdom on how to conduct myself. But what if I live until, I don't know, whatever the rest of my days end, right? And I don't meet my person. Doesn't mean I did something wrong. Doesn't mean that I could have done something different, or I should be doing something different. And is it my fault? And I learned, no, it's not. Some things are just not meant for you. And the reason I want to make this clear is not as a disclaimer for myself, so no one's, saying, well, you claim do all these things and it didn't happen for me. Yes, disclaimers are great to throw out there. Like, hey, results may vary, right? But it's more for you to learn to love yourself. Love God, love yourself. That's my way of life. I'm putting God first. I'm loving God. I'm thankful for my Creator for life, for an opportunity to do this thing called life. And I have to understand that while love is a beautiful part of life, and it can be a beautiful part of it, that's not all there is to it. There are so many people who live a long, fulfilling, beautiful life. They don't have a significant other. They don't necessarily have children. They don't have a big, family, or maybe they were married or divorced and life just didn't go the way that they planned, right? Or they, had kids, but it wasn't with someone that they were in love with. They kept their kid, but that was about it, right? Whether you meet the love of your life or not, that's your genesis. It should be, I am content with me and God. I'm okay with it just being me. And when you have that mentality right before you meet someone, you're not looking for someone else to fulfill your joy, your contentment. You say, no matter what happens, I am going to love my life. And that's a beautiful place to be. That's the place that I'm at now in my life. And I'm not lying anymore when I say it. I have my moments where I'm like, you know what? It would be great to have someone alongside me for this journey. But ultimately, I am content. And I say all this to say that if you are in a relationship and you don't have contentment and you're looking for your partner to meet your needs, maybe they're not dating you as often as they used to, like taking you out on date night, or schedules are busy. Most of your time is consumed with running for soccer practice, or taking your daughter to ballet, or running to this school meeting, or helping your kids with their homework, and you just kind of lost sight of what life really is about, which is to enjoy your life, regardless if you have everything perfect and in the way in which you want it to be. It's still a beautiful thing to love yourself and to enjoy your life, even if it means taking time to yourself, even if it means not having everything the way you thought you would have it, right? Life is worth living. It's a beautiful life that we're, again, blessed to see. So I hope that no matter where you are in your life, no matter where you are in your journey, that you are content with just you. Because even if you meet someone incredible, let's say their life is gone within weeks, months, or even years of you meeting them, it doesn't mean that your life was not a good life because you don't have that person in it. And I just, again, want to make that very clear. Be content 100% of a person before you meet another person. Yes, there is a sense of joy that comes with someone entering your life. It's beautiful. That's why I advocate for it. But ultimately, again, life is about enjoying what you have while you have it. We don't know how long we're here. So please enjoy the life that you're blessed with. And if someone enters it, be content with the time that you have with them as well, and enjoy the time that you have with them. That is all I have to say on contentment, because again, it starts with contentment. Anything else, that's the foundation for any relationship. If you're not content with who you are, you're going to struggle with insecurities. You're going to struggle with comparing your relationship to someone else's, or comparing your life with someone else. I know it's hard as human beings not to look at what someone else is doing. We are visual creatures. We're people who look at what everyone else is doing and, feel inspired sometimes, or feel like we're less than. And I just want you to be content. I want you to get to a place where you say, no matter what everybody else is doing or not, I'm content. I love the person I'm with. I love the person I am. I love life, right? That's the place I want you to be. Because all of this relationship advice means nothing if you are not content with yourself first. And that's the truth of the matter. But again, this is all I had to say today. I hope that what you took away from this is that you gotta learn to love you. Maybe that means doing counseling. Maybe that means therapy sessions. Maybe that means going deep, journaling. getting to know yourself. If you haven't seen my video on getting to know yourself, definitely check that out. But nonetheless, learn to love the life that you have before someone else enters it, because life, being good or bad, should not be predicated on someone else's presence. At least anyone else's physical presence, no. It should be determined based on how you choose to live it, right? And just say, life is good because it is good. If you were given $5 million tomorrow and you found out you would be gone within 24 hours of receiving that $5 million in cash, life would be a lot more important to you than that cash, right? If you had to choose $5 million and you're gone the next day, or live the rest of your life without it, most of us would say, you know what, the $5 million isn't that important. And the reason I say this is because it's just so important to remember that life is valuable. We only get one shot at this, right? So why not just live it, enjoy it, and should the right person enter your life, that's the cherry on top. Start there, and all of the other advice I give you on this platform, or even on TikTok, right? That's when we can start adding, but that should be your foundation. So let's start there. And if you haven't checked out my video on knowing yourself, definitely check that out. Thank you for joining me on this episode of The Situationship Expert on YouTube. If you have any thoughts, leave them in the comment section. The comment section is not just there for you to leave your thoughts on whether or not you like the video or not. It is there for you to also let me know if there's any content that you'd like me to record. If there's any questions that you have and you'd like me to answer them, please let me know. Also, if you are not following me on TikTok, I go live on TikTok, at least during the recording of this video. I go live on TikTok each week. So definitely check out my schedule, check my stories. That's where I can let you know any updates or schedule changes. Again, thank you for joining me on this episode of The Situationship Expert on YouTube. I am your host, India Lynn, and until next time, take care.